What's up guys? It's your boy Tito Kenny, and welcome to another episode of Kenn Talk with Live. Ayan, episode 3 na tayo, akalain mo yun. At may virtual background na ako ngayon. So in this episode, I'm talking with one of my former colleagues that turned friend. Paano ba sabihin yun? So ayun, kasi di ba sa professional life natin, we usually meet colleagues na strictly professional lang yung relationship ninyo, but some turns out to be eventually become good friends kasi because of yung samahan ninyo in the office, and because of siguro things in common din, the way you think, the way you behave, and kung ano pa man. So without further ado, masyado na ako napahaba. Let's welcome my guest for today, Miss Zarah.
Hello!
Hello, Ma'am Sir. How are you today?
Ma'am Sir talaga.
Ganyan lang talaga kami mag-uusap. So, ayan.
Formal ba dapat? This is my most serious role ever. Char! Hi! Hi to everyone. Okay. Ano lang ako dito? Question and answer ba to? Malakas talk ba?
So, parang ano bang question natin? What is the essence of being a woman? The joke lang.
Hindi ko masasagot. Baka hindi ko masagot. Yun yung panot doon pag ganun yung tanong. Okay.
De, pero kamusta ka ngayong pandemic? I think we've been 7 months or 8 months na ata tayong
Seven. Going 7 months? Yes. It's March.
Paano ka nag-cope with this pandemic?
Well, katulad ng karamihan, I guess, isa na ako sa mga nag-aalaga ng halaman. All of a sudden, bigla ako nagka-green thumb. Okay, very surprising. Mula sa nakakapatay ng cactus, face. Okay, meron na akong mini vegetable garden sa balcony. Oo, unti-unting mararating.
Actually, ako din, meron na rin akong 2 halaman. Akalain mo yun. Plantito. Ayan.
Oo. Halamam sir daw ako.
Alam mo, bumili lang ako ng plant kasi bala ko ilagay siya sa likod ng aircon kasi tumutulo. Ako, sinabihan ko ng tao gawin yun kasi nakakamatay lang. So ngayon, inaalagaan ko na lang talaga siya. So nawala na yung purpose niya.
Correct. But hindi na ako purpose ng halaman sumalo ng tubig sa aircon.
Kung yun yung gusto kong purpose niya. Wala bang halaman na gano'n?
Sabagay. Baka pwede mo gawing study.
Sa mga viewers natin, baka meron kayong alam na halaman, comment nyo kasi naghahanap talaga ako pwedeng ilagay sa aircon. Kesa ayos ko yung aircon, gusto ko may halaman. So yung halaman nakakatulong sa iyo ngayong sa iyong mental health? Is it
partly, I think, kasi it makes you busy. It also provides you that necessary, I think for me, it provides me the necessary break. I know it seems na kahit nasa bahay ka, kasi porque nasa bahay ka, there's this thinking na, baka wala ka ba masyadong ginagawa, or dapat mas pahinga ka because you're at home. But then, it's really different kasi you're not really sure, like halimbawa thinking about the whole, yung environment now. You don't know kung hanggang kailan ba tayo naka-quarantine. I mean, it's been almost 7 months. So parang one of the things to just, take away yung dread, if that's what I should call it, di ba? Pero yun nga, yung parang fear, kumbaga parang kasi we're all, ang tawag dito, hindi natin alam kung hanggang saan naabot So kumbaga parang that needed break to, kumbaga parang mawala yung focus mo on other things. Kumbaga, ma-divert yung iyong attention. So that's why I'm doing plants now. Ganyan. So that's one, of course. Yan. Tapos, syempre, on the side, may online learning din. Ganyan.
Right.
I'm trying to be productive.
Kids.
Oo.
Gift for you.
Oh my God. Oo. Biglang, naging Angelica. Nakakaloka. Yes. Pero kasi, it's also like, kumbaga parang expanding also my experience, ganyan. I've been doing adult learning for quite some time now, almost 15 years. So biglang, oh sige nga, try na natin na sa kids naman, medyo effective naman ata ako with kids, at least
Yes,
for a
yes naman.
limited time. May na-discover akong talent. So yeah, there.
Yeah. Speaking of getting our minds off the dread, kasi unprecedented times talaga to, no? Kasi I think important talaga kasi especially ngayon we have social media, so we get to see talaga anong nangyayari, and both at the same time also we get to see paano ba sabihin lightly, we also get to see a lot of toxic individuals, toxic comments and posts. Wag na lang natin pangalanan, but we see a lot of that, and I think it's but it's also good at the same time kasi at least meron kang libangan kumpara sa nangyari itong pandemic. Let's say wala pang internet. I think it's also a form of us being informed. So
Yes. Oo. With people spending more time now on social media, di ba? Parang, syempre, pasilip-silip eh. I mean, let's be honest. Like, even if we were all in the office, di ba? May mga times pa rin during the day that you check on your social media. During that time, it seemed like, yun yung time mo to take a break. But now,
correct.
you have access. You're working from home, or you're just, staying at home like me. So I get to like check it more often.
Correct.
So yun. And then you also, yun nga, you take, I think, it's our source of information now.
Correct.
Especially for a lot of people with lesser access to traditional media. I mean, going into that direction, diba? I mean, Facebook na yung pinaka-access natin sa news, and the news sites that we see.
Yeah.
Is it toxic? It can be.
Mm-hmm.
That's why ako rin minsan I take a time off eh. Parang part of taking care of mental health is also, taking time off from social media.
Yeah.
It's either I don't really browse like my timeline at certain days, especially if ando ka sa point na medyo sensitive. So yun. You take time off also. Ako, I do. Like, minsan hindi talaga ako nagbubukas. That's shocking. I mean,
Kasi you're we won't say na lang your handle kasi baka hanapin ka, but I can see that you're also very active nga sa on other platforms. But I think yun nga, ang dami mong nakaka-interact, but you said that social media is a source of information, but at the same time, parang on the other spectrum din naman, it's also a source of false information. So I think we have to be very responsible in posting what we post, and where to get our information. So ayun. At the same time, meron din kasing tinatawag na parang may mob mentality din minsan sa social media, or no matter what you call it cancel culture, you could call it
call out culture.
Call out culture, yes, you can call it call out culture. So ano ba tong cancel culture? What do you think that is?
Sa akin, cancel culture, mas sa nakikita ko canceling people is like, cutting them off. As in, wala ka na sa akin, yung ganun. Okay? Yes, there have been like calls to cancel personalities, diba? Online. But for me, I think it's not really, it's more of like a call out. People just call out other people more now. Kasi diba, parang there's this, I mean, I think, accept mo na once you're on the internet, on the internet, anything that you post, anything that you say, post on your page, kahit na naka-private ka, it's open as long as someone gets to see it. You're opening up yourself to other people's feedback.
Correct.
So it's the call out culture. It's really about, for me it's asking for more accountability on other people's part. So hindi naman siya, may mga nakakarating ng cancel culture, but hindi ko masabi na it's totally wrong.
Correct.
Especially if you've been called out muna, you're usually called out first.
Correct.
And if still you maintain your position and totally dismiss whatever correction, whatever inputs that other people give, tapos parang binaliwala mo lang, then maybe, baka, at a slightest, chance, baka deserve naman ang pagka-cancel. I mean, that's my idea of it.
You mentioned an interesting point, no? Kasi, ayun nga, parang with how, right now kasi, reality is really based on perception. So, parang there's a, paano ba sabihin to? There's a narrative of cancel culture na parang ginagawa siyang negative. Like, even the word woke was a positive word, pero ngayon parang ginagamit siyang negative word na parang pang-insulto siya na masyado ka and what. So, I think, and there has been a lot of pushback, especially siguro from the older generation.
Yes.
They are saying that people are more sensitive now. Do you agree with that? Na are people really more sensitive now?
I don't think so. Like this generation?
Yes. Millennials and Gen Z.
Sa akin hindi. It's not really about, being sensitive. Yun nga parang these generations have more access kasi to information. And they're more open to like new information, they know how to validate the data, the information that they come across. So kumbaga parang using what they know and what they get from other people, parang it's basically just informing others also of what's wrong in one's stand or position, di ba? Like I think it's less of being sensitive, but it's more of asking for accountability. I think that's something na especially at this time mas importante that we start calling out those na nasa position halimbawa and making them more accountable of their sworn promise, mga ganyan.
Yes.
Diba?
Also for me, mag-share na rin ako, no? I think, kasi, I don't think people are more sensitive now kasi if people are offended now, I think people have always been offended, but now we just have more access to voice out our opinions na
we have a platform now.
We have platforms, everyone has a voice. Let's be very specific. For example, I think the black community in the United States, you can't tell me that they're more sensitive now. They've always been offended of racism, about the racial inequalities, pero ngayon they have a voice because merong pwedeng ma-video na yung mga nangyayari, and then everyone can voice out their disgust for the racial injustices. And I think yun lang. What changed really is people have more parang mas nakakapag-usap tayo with each other kasi before parang yung opinions is really based lang sa mga experts, so to speak. But now even people like us, we're doing this podcast, we're talking about things na we can't
discuss.
Normal people can discuss about things. So I think yun, hindi naman sa mas sensitive, it's just that we now have more access to voice out our opinions. At the same time, we are also pushing back na, kasi parang before, sinasabihan ka lang na toughen up or you're so soft. But now, I think hanga din ako sa even the younger generation pa, mas younger pa sa atin. Because they're saying no, parang no, that's not the point. We're trying to change the world. This is the world that we live in. And we don't want that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess, parang yan parang kung dati, di ba, ilang tao lang may hawak ng mic.
Correct.
Ngayon, it's just like everyone has their own mic and speakers so that, they can also share what they feel, what they know, and yun nga, it's really about, knowing where you stand, and if where you're standing is, the right side of things, di ba? Kaya nga parang kung dati kasi parang it's free naman to, but that's my opinion, yung mga ganyan. You have to respect other people's opinion. But then, opinions usually, kailangan din natin malaman kung yung opinion ba natin hindi nakakatapak din dun sa ibang tao. And I think the generation now has more, kumbaga parang idea of what is wrong and what is right. So kumbaga parang using their knowledge, they try to educate then older generations. So nasa sa tao na yan if how they will accept it. Just recently, di ba, parang merong call to cancel J.K. Rowling. I don't know if yeah, di ba? Because merong maingay, nagkaroon ng ingay because she was saying some, basically she's against trans rights.
Correct.
That's one. So a lot of people, especially her readers, were calling her out. Diba? To the point of i-cancel, almost na-cancel. Hindi pa man totally. But there's like different positions dun sa issue na ihiwalay what she feels and what her book stands for, yung mga ganyan. But then you can't really kumbaga parang separate both So parang her books will be her always. So anyway, the point is, kumbaga parang people tried to educate her, but she totally dismissed all those points. Yeah.
I think
So
yun din kasi parang there's a term now also na relevant sa ngayong generation na lumalabas, yung term na hater. Because I think that's what a lot of celebrities and people in position call na pag kino-call out sila, tinatawag lang nila na haters. And
or basher.
Or bashers, di ba? Bashers in team setting. And I think totoo naman, meron din naman talagang bashers, but meron din naman na may point or may mga point may point yung sinasabi nila. I think yun din kasi like yung sinabi natin, everyone has a platform now. But at the same time, meron ding platform na rin yung mga uneducated opinion. And that's what I think the cancel culture is trying to cancel nga.
Yes.
But on the other end of the spectrum, meron din bang negative connotations itong cancel or call out culture?
I think for me it's depende sa tao ha. Because I have seen like people being called out, being cancelled on another platform, and they kumbaga parang naglo-look into their own actions din sila. Kumbaga parang they kumbaga parang they look back, kumbaga parang dun sa mga ginawa nila, and then they realize what's wrong. Kumbaga parang it's about, understanding where other people are coming from. Why are they saying this? Diba? Don't have kasi the kahit na gaano ka ka-experience, you will always have like that one part na maybe hindi ko nakita. You might have that blind spot na hindi ka aware. So, kumbaga, it's other people telling you na parang, oy, be aware naman of this part na hindi mo nakikita. Because it's also important for us to see the bigger picture, to have wider kumbaga, a better understanding of what's really happening. So, I think the bad side is totally canceling someone will not allow for change on that individual.
Right.
Diba? Hindi mo na siya papakinggan ever. Um, Yun lang yung thing. Kasi parang dalawa kasi yung pwedeng mangyari. Kinall out ka, ayaw mo na.
Correct.
Yun. Meron din na kinall out ka and you correct what you have done, what you have said, and own up to your own up to your own indiscretion. Yung mga ganyan. Pero,
yeah, I think it takes
yun
a
ang
lot
natin
of
purpose.
maturity. I think it takes
Yeah.
a lot of maturity to own up to your mistakes. And
Hmm.
going back to what you said na mas like na-educate yung mga tao, I think also hindi lang yung mismong kina-cancel yung na-educate actually kasi for example, I share na lang about myself. As a man also, the Me Too movement really opened my eyes. Oh my God. Nagiging emotional. Wait lang.
Oh my God.
Oo nga, di ko in-expect to. But yeah.
Oh,
I
go.
think
Let's
the
go.
Me Too
Yeah.
movement really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Hindi ako specifically na call out, but seeing also the experiences and made me also question myself.
Yeah.
Parang, maybe I'm part of the problem. I'm also given a lot of privileges as a man, and I think yun, parang it's not just the people being cancelled, but also the people who may also do the same things. Na parang I also parang nakaka-relate ka rin na, shucks, mali pala tong ginagawa kong ito. So I think
Yes. Oo. Kahit na hindi ka actively talking about it, you are not
Yes.
actively participating, pero somehow, if you read about it and you reflect kung ano yung mga points na nire-raise, you actually realize na, oo nga no, may mali rin doon sa sinabi ko eh.
Yes.
May mali rin pala doon sa, it's a realization, you get those realizations. If you're really open to learning more and to knowing more and becoming a better person basically.
Correct.
Mas magiging open ka eh, diba? And
depende.
yung men are trash. The men are trash.
And
diba? And then you
syempre
see
yung yung reply is not all men, diba? Parang
yeah.
yung other side. But I think for you to change kasi you need to acknowledge that there is a problem.
Yes.
I think that's it. But I think yun yung problema kasi it takes a lot of maturity, it takes a lot of growth
and courage
to admit that you're wrong and that you've made mistakes in the past and that you will correct it. But kunwari, yun nga, like sinabi mo, meron namang mga defensive na ay bashers lang to, ay iba-block ko tong mga to. So ano kaya approach para sa mga ganun? Or wala na ba talagang pag-asa sa kanila?
It depends on how they see the people that they interact with.
Correct.
It goes well with like how do you see other people? Are they on equal level as you are, or do you see them as someone lower than who you are? Kumbaga parang ganon. I mean, halimbawa, okay. Concrete example, we have the usual issue of public officials blocking normal citizens.
Okay.
Based on experience.
Ayoko nga i-bring up
Pero totoo, di ba? Kasi parang, hello, responsibilidad niyo yan eh. If you see the normal people, if you are really keen on serving the people, you would listen to them. You don't block them on whatever platform that they have. Especially if, kung titingnan mo naman, valid naman yung mga criticisms or points that are being raised. Diba? It's how you see kung paano kasi nila tinitingnan yung ibang tao. Totally canceling out another person just because he or she you don't agree with their position speaks also about you.
Yes.
Diba? Na parang ibig sabihin kumbaga parang hindi porke magkaiba kayo ng posisyon, then is that maling-mali na siya or wala na siyang chance para magbago.
Yeah.
Paano kung naunahan ka? Anong gagawin mo? Well, minsan wala. Wala. Kahit na, I mean, you know that meme na old man is shouting at the clouds? I mean, you know, yung tatay ni Homer, that one. Oo. Diba? Kasi parang gano'n ang mangyayari eh. Sisigaw ka lang ng sisigaw, hindi ka naman papakinggan. So, might as well, it's an admission on, I think it's more of an admission on the other part na he doesn't, or he or she doesn't respect you. And that, papasok doon yung mental health.
Yeah.
Diba? Na parang, nasa sa kanya na yun.
Yeah.
May mga bagay lang talaga na kailangan nating tanggapin na wala na tayong
So, parang,
magagawa.
parang sa atin, let's just be better and prepare the
Yeah.
next generation.
Oh, hindi naman natin masisisi. Kumbaga parang wala tayong responsibility over others. We do have, let me clarify that, we do have responsibility to like inform others, to somehow educate them, especially if you know them, especially if you're friends, especially if, you know, you have close ties with that person.
Yeah.
If you're in that position and you think that what they're saying is wrong, what their position, what they're saying, what they're doing is wrong, then maybe mga konting topic lang sa balikat, makikinig yan. If they see you as an equivalent, makikinig siya.
Yeah. Although, may napanood kasi ako, hindi ko maalala kung sino nagsabi nito. But someone said kasi, for us to move forward, we should also we should also bring along yung mga people who are taking advantage of the system. Kasi para sa kanya, the people who are taking advantage of the system, it's not their fault, but it's the system's fault. Do you agree with that? Ako, on the fence ako kasi parang nag-take advantage siya sa system, so hindi niya kasalanan ng system. But I think yun din dapat may accountability ka.
Pero babalik ka dun sa, there should be like an admission na merong mali sa sistema. Again, going back dun sa men are trash. Diba? Diba? Kaya nga nag-umpisa yung not all men na counter eh. Kasi a lot of men see na it's against them personally.
Correct.
Not thinking, not realizing na no, what we're against is the system. It's patriarchy that we are against, not you as a person. But if you are one of those who are for patriarchy, then maybe we have a problem. So until they admit that oo nga, sistema nga yung mali. Oo nga, mali nga talaga yung patriarchy. Then only then can they also move forward. Diba? Mahirap bitbitin yung malaking bag na yun.
I think kasi as humanity, we always strive to move forward, and yun nga, some people are trying to push back na hindi, wag muna tayo mag-move forward. But I think personally din, I think cancel culture or call out culture will also evolve in the process kasi I think also kasi the reason why some people are still hesitant against or are against cancel culture kasi some people kasi when you tell them they're wrong, they become defensive, and yun nga, nagiging defensive, bashers lang yan, sila naman yung mali. But maybe there could be a better way to convincing them na hey, kasi yun nga parang ngayon kasi you don't convince people through facts. Well, kahit dati pa naman maraming taong hindi nako-convince sa facts, mas nako-convince sila sa
showmanship.
Nagsip-sip ka muna sa kanila or what. So baka there's a way na let's find a common ground and then I'll show you a bigger picture. But it's easier said than done. Minado naman ako na it's a very tall order, but siguro kakayanin naman natin if we just continue to
Yeah.
push forward.
And I think kasi partly because, alam mo na, it's new eh. The platform, it's relatively new. The technology,
Mhm.
diba? Everything is totally new. Plus, yung weight pa of where we are in right now. We are right in the middle of a pandemic. Hopefully towards the
Yes.
nearing the end.
Hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully all fingers crossed. While we're nearing, the end of, this situation, pero yun nga, bago pa rin. And yung sa, sa idea ng change, di ba? Anything na bago, anything na iba, is really, kumbaga parang, prone to resistance.
Yeah. Resistance. Yun yung kanina ko pa iniisip na word.
Resistance. May resistance talaga.
Yeah.
Di ba? And darating din yung panahon, hopefully, with more people getting more and more access to information, having more access to information, people also start, to educate themselves also.
Yeah. I guess last point that I want to bring up also, no, about cancel culture. You mentioned an interesting point. We are not we are not against men but against patriarchy. So I think yun yung kailangan matutunan both from the people participating in cancel culture and the people being canceled, na we are not against a specific person. We are not against you, but the values that you're representing. I think, or the bad things that you're doing, and hopefully you will change or be an ally of positive change.
Yeah. I think that's really important. Although, yeah, meron lang ako slight na palihis. Because there could be like, I also know na merong mga tao that really deserve. Let's be honest about that. Hindi, pero kasi, it's all about not realizing one's extent ng responsibility.
I remember so many people.
Yeah, kasi parang, di ba, sa akin lang, at this day and age, when you're considered like an influencer, di ba, meron
Parang
kang...
I think
Ha?
Parang
wala akong specific tao na sinasabi.
Pero feeling ko lang may person na akong in mind.
Oh, meron ka na in mind. Marami sila. Char. Hindi. Oo, char, half charot.
Okay.
No, pero kasi diba, if you're like a person of influence, you really have to be more conscious of what you say,
Yes.
of what you post about, kasi kung saan, ano yung sinasabi mo, can also influence other people. May weight the fact na halimbawa pina-follow ka nila, tapos sinusundan ka nila, na nakikinig sila sa'yo at nakikipag-interact sila sa'yo, there's this similarity that they find na kumbaga parang they agree with you at some level. So kumbaga parang if you're a person with that type of influence, if you're a person with clout, mas lalo ka dapat mas maging conscious about your responsibility. Ano yung sinasabi ko? Para kanino ko nagsasalita? Kasi mahalaga yun eh. Kung hindi, walang growth. You're just pulling other people down. Ganong level. So, kung halimbawa, we're not talking about values, minsan may tao rin talaga na talagang, aminin na natin, may mga tao talagang questionable ang values.
Yeah. I think may mga taong iba na yung reality na tumatakbo sa utak nila.
Yeah.
Yun yung perception ko lagi kasi parang may mga tao na bakit ko naisip ko? Paano ka nakakatulog sa gabi na ginagawa mo ito? Parang may mga certain people na like that. I think yun, tama ka, baka iba na yung values. And for me, iba yung reality na tumatakbo sa utak niya.
Oh, we can blame like how that person grew up. We can blame, we can source. Kumbaga parang puntahan mo natin lahat ng source ng kanyang to what that person is now, di ba? At the end of the day, ngayon yung pinag-uusapan eh. You have, ang problema ko lang lagi is that if you are a person of influence, you have access to information, you have access to a lot of, you know, possible sources na pwede mo verify, i-validate yung information mo, yet you're not using it, that's on you already. Then maybe baka kapag pinahawakan mo pa rin whatever dated belief that is na questionable, then maybe doon natin i-recognize na hindi, siya talaga yung mali. Again, going back, J.K. Rowling. She has all the access. She has all the...
J.K. Rowling, alam mo nag-publish siya ng bagong novel na under a pen name about a trans killer.
Yeah. And people are so against it. So, nagkaroon ng, yun nga, I think doon nag-umpisa after the release of that book. It was this year, right? Like sometime May when she released it. And then may mga statements on Twitter during that time. And people were calling her out about it. And then there's another side of the coin na throw sa kanya. They even turned like an opinion piece that was posted on the Times na kumbaga parang siding with her. But then, ang point ng mga nagpo-protect kay J.K. Rowling is that she's still a woman and she doesn't deserve the thing. Anyway, she doesn't deserve the treatment. The thing is, nagkakaroon ng blur. Ang sinasabi nila ngayon is that trans rights versus women's rights. I mean, you can't, kumbaga parang hindi mo dapat i-oppress ang galing sa isang oppressed sector, like women. Diba? Na parang nagiging clash ngayon ng rights versus rights. When hindi naman dapat. People are not canceling her because she's a woman. It's because she is against trans rights, which are also humans. I mean, yung ganun. It can be murky at times, it can be muddy, all this, you know. Pero kung i-weed out mo kasi, hindi naman yan rights versus rights eh.
Yeah,
bakit mo kailangan i-give up?
Na,
yeah. Bakit mo ihihiwala yung rights ng isa? Tao rin yan eh. Diba? Tao rin sila eh. So, kumbaga sa akin, it's all about knowing talaga where you stand. That's why, ito, sa akin papasok talaga is in all your values. How your principles, how much do you hold on to like what you believe in, the things that are important to you, gaano ka ka-sure, kasigurado of these things, only then can you make the right decisions na according dun sa values na pinangahawakan. So,
any last words, Zarah, before we end this?
Sa akin, siguro, it's all about being yung cancel culture. Pwede, ito sabihin natin na cancel culture, but more of educate others. Educating others would always be the best, kumbaga parang antidote sa lahat ng hate, sa lahat ng vitriol that we come across with every day. Educate yourself, educate others, especially those that you believe in, the people that you care for. Diba? Start with telling them what is opinion and what is not. Diba? Merong popular adage na online na opinion is whether or not you like pineapples on pizza.
Correct.
But opinion is not whether human rights is applicable to one person or another.
Yes.
So, kumbaga, ganon. Diba? Na parang, I will respect your opinion only if it is, kumbaga, if your opinion does not hurt anyone.
Yeah.
It's not harming anyone.
Agree.
So,
I think at the end of the day, it goes back to your values. I think I agree, because I think that that's an issue now about broken friendships or broken relationships, because there's a clash in values, and I think it's not just a difference in opinion. It's because your values goes against my values, and I have to take
Yes.
care of my mental health as well. At the end of the day, we just want a better world. Whether
Yeah.
it be cancel culture or something that will evolve in the future, something much better than
Mhm.
call out or cancel culture, that yun. But as humanity, we need to move forward, kasi there's always a tendency to romanticize the past, na buti pa dati, ganito, ganyan. But dati may slavery, dati hindi pwede pumasok
Exactly.
yung women. So I think yun eh. I think um, there's a tendency to romanticize the past, but let's always remember that we're here now and we want to move forward.
Yeah.
So yun lang. Thank you again,
Okay.
guys, for watching. Thank you, Zara, for being my guest
Thank you.
today.
Thank you also for the platform. Platform.
Platform,
Char.
oo, nasa Facebook tayo, and simultaneously this will be shown on YouTube. So if you're on
Yeah.
YouTube, subscribe and like.
Gusto
On
kong batiin yung
Facebook,
nanay ko.
artista na po si Ma'am Zoom. Joke.
Oo. Oo. Basta nasa Twitter lang ako kung wala ako sa
Okay.
Facebook. Oo.
Sige.
Bilang
Thank you.
Miron. Yeah. Thank you also.
Thank you. Bye-bye.